remember it, and yes, it's a good thing. So that'll be a couple of minutes, and then we'll gather in here for a ceremony that will be where we'll actually cut the foreskin. And I understand there's some people who might not want to see that part, and you can either stay in here or just look away at that time. But we don't expect it to be painful for the child, and in the context of that, we'll also be presenting both Solomon and Julianna with their Hebrew names, and they've both been named after loved ones, and Scott's going to tell us a little bit more about that, but they've been named after people who have been dear in their lives, one of whom, of course, Scott's mother, who just passed away in April. So we're delighted everybody's here. My name is Dan Gordon. I'm the rabbi at Temple Beth Torah, which is just south of here in Humble. And Scott and Veronica actually came for the first time to the temple the night that she went into the hospital. Wow. She was ready to go to the hospital, and she said, "I'm going to temple first." So she's a pretty determined young woman. So we'll, in a few minutes, oh, here's Julianna.
Yes.
Hey. In a few minutes, Dr. Axel will be back. The chair that you see here with the pillow, reserved at every, the bris, the word bris means covenant. It's the promise that initially was between God and Abraham Abraham promised that he would bring his sons and his sons' sons into the covenant by this. And so we have a special chair which we call the chair for Elijah. Elijah, for those of you who are familiar or not familiar, Elijah was a prophet who was known for his goodness and his kindness, and according to the Bible, Elijah never died. One of the only people that I know of in the Jewish tradition who never actually died. He was, as the story goes, he rose to heaven on a chariot of fire. Nodding your head, you've heard that part before. And so the legendary piece of that is that Elijah, according to our tradition, travels the world, kind of like Santa Claus. Travels the world and visits wherever we leave a chair for him. So we leave a chair for him to invite him to the bris so that he can be part of these children's lives. And those of you who have been to Passover Seders, there's a cup for Elijah at the Passover Seder. We invite him to Passover Seders. And there's a legend that Elijah travels the world to see what's going on. That when Elijah sees that the world is ready, that will bring upon an age that we're ready to receive the Messiah. And so we're taught that Elijah often travels the world in disguise, and that we never know who he might be. In fact, some say he might even be her. And so one of our most beautiful teachings is that if we were to treat each person that we meet as if that person might be Elijah in disguise, how would we watch our words and our actions? And what would we do differently if we knew that we were in the presence of such a person? And perhaps if we all thought in that way, then if the Messiah's identity is not revealed in our lifetime, it just might not matter, because we would bring about on our own that kind of a beautiful time. So, and Solomon, who we hear whimpering a little bit upstairs, just might be two of the people who help us change the world. With God's blessing, they've already changed the world for some.
She smiled while you talked.
I have that effect.
Come on.
I'm coming back.
I never thought we'd do this in the kitchen.
Baruch haba, be blessed.
זה הכיסא שאליהו זפולתו, ישועתך קיוויתי אדוני, שיברתי ישועתך אדוני, ומצוותיך עשיתי, סיברתי ישועתך אדוני, שש אנוכי על אמרתך, כמוצא שלום רב. שלום רב לא הווה תורתך, ואין עמו משול, אשרי תבחור וקרב ישכון חסריך. Go ahead and before you begin, let me make a comment. Brit Milah is about, I'm sure there are some people here who've never been to a Bris, a Brit Milah. The Rebbe, I'm sure, may have an explanation. But this is about the covenant of Abraham and Sarah. It has to do with deeds of loving kindness. And really, probably the only really official at a Brit Milah is a Sandak, because in Greek it means companion, or Sandekos, Syndekos. And so you have an obligation to this child to teach him about chesed, deeds of loving kindness. And it's important that parents, teach him and to mimic all the qualities of God, which has to do with, things like deeds of loving kindness and honor, how to honor somebody, humility, and things of that nature. Now, when this child was born, what was the first thing he did? He cried.
Terribly.
Well, he was grasping, knowing full well that at some point there, that something special was happening to him, as it was to his sister. Both these children at some point cried, and was this a cry of pain or a cry of joy? This was not a cry of pain, but a cry of great joy. And why? Because at that moment he received his pure soul, as did his sister received her pure soul, her neshama, pure soul. Now, you have to understand that pure soul stays with us briefly, because it goes back with God. And we have the part of the soul which is the nefesh. Now the nefesh has characteristics about it that sometimes are not so good, and that's where you have an obligation to teach him about chesed, deeds of loving kindness. It's not okay to be angry at a child. Never. But it's okay to be angry when people are starving. And so these are distinctions that we're obligated to teach a child. Now, the mother, if she was awake,
I was awake.
I was awake, okay. What was she waiting for? She was waiting to hear those children cry. And what did she do? She began to cry. Is she crying? Was she crying because of pain?
No.
No, because she knows what pain is. Every woman here has had a child knows what pain is.
And she's been married to me.
And she's been married to me. And so, but no, this is a cry of great joy, in which she now also repeats what her two children said, Elohai neshama shenatata bi, thank you, God, for giving me a pure soul. So with that, I was going to talk about it, Chair Elijah.
The rite of circumcision has enjoined upon us a sign of the covenant with God, as it is written. And God said to Abraham, you shall keep my covenant, you and your children after you. He who is 8 days old shall be circumcised, every male throughout your generations. We recall the prophetic promise that one day the sign of the covenant with God will be imprinted upon our hearts and the hearts of our children, as well as upon our flesh, so that we may rise to the selfless love of God and therein find life. May we, like our father Abraham, obey the commandment of God, walk before me, and reach for perfection. Joyfully we present our son for the covenant of circumcision. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of circumcision as the Creator. Praised be He has commanded us in the Torah. Throughout your generations, every male among you shall be circumcised when he is 8 days old. Praised are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us concerning circumcision.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher tirshanu b'tzivah v'sivanu al hamilah.
Amen.
Praised are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us to bring our son into the covenant of Abraham, our father, and Sarah, our mother. As he has entered the covenant, so may he attain the blessing of Torah, marriage, and the life of good deeds.
We're going to also give Solomon a little, we're going to give him a little sip of wine on a gauze paper. Yeah.
No, he didn't pour it in there yet. Oh. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafim. Blessed are you, O Lord, who creates the fruit of the vine, which brings joy to our hearts.
You gotta get your buddy.
No driving after this, young man.
Pulled that boy's last
Not
year.
even pretend. Look at that face.
Where's
This doesn't taste like milk.
I might like that though.
About time.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified the well-being, the well-beloved from the womb, and has set your statue in his flesh, sealing his offspring with the sign of the Holy Covenant. Because of this, eternal God, deliver from destruction the beloved of our flesh. For the sake of the covenant, set our bodies. Baruch atah Adonai, korei habrit. Blessed are you, God, who has made with us the covenant. You are forever mindful of your covenant, the word you commanded for 1,000 generations, the covenant you made with Abraham, your sworn promise to Isaac, the commitment you made to Jacob, your everlasting covenant with Israel. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, who is good, whose love is everlasting. Hodu Adonai Kippo, Ki Leolam Chasdo. This whole event here. We're talking about.
It's right here.
Oh, you're in the background there. Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach. Look at how happy he is. You'll never miss it. This whole event, in addition to a bris or a brit milah, the covenant of circumcision, the promise, it is also a simcha. Look at this smile, and look at this smile, and look at the smile of grandma and grandpa. That this is what we are here for. We are here to be with each other. So we say a blessing of gratitude to God for bringing us healthfully to this time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'yamanu v'yanu la'azman hazeh. Blessed are you, God, ruler of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this joyous time. Going to, yeah, he's got such a gentle cry. Lador vador, generation to generation. I'm going to share with you now a poem that was written by a woman named Bailey Gordon, who has the same last name as me because she's my mother. And she wrote this on the occasion of my bar mitzvah, and I've always found it appropriate to do at a child's ceremony. In your wisdom, God, you renew each day the miracle of creation, yet we, your children, tend to accept the awesome rise of the warming sun without the courtesy of a silent thanks. So too it is when that first chaste cry of a new human soul pierces our time